Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. You know, it's Tuesday when you're listening to this. You know, it's not Tuesday when I'm recording this. But, you know, hopefully you're all getting some moisture. You know, we all need that right now in Idaho. And we need to get rid of this drought seasons. So, on that note, we're here to talk about business. We're here to talk to help you grow your business. We're here to motivate and to just dominate. So, before we go any further, we're sponsored by New Clean Commercial Cleaning. And if you give them a call at 208-254-7070 and say, hey, I heard about you on the podcast. They will come out and give you a free sterilization spray of your entire office. No questions asked. That's all it is. That's your podcast offer from them. Going forward, you know, I was thinking, I just got back from my consultant. Obviously, I had a remote session we did last week, episode-wise, and we talked about, you know, good stuff there, things that motivate us, things that bring us happiness. Now, obviously, you know, having financial harmony, I really feel that also brings happiness. Now, we also, you know, we've heard the love of money is the root of all evil. Okay, well, we can still like money and still get things done and still be happy. Okay, we can still be good people. Anyways, I hope you guys all obviously like money and want more money. So let's talk about what needs to happen before June hits to make your company more successful, you more successful, your team's more successful and more profitable. That being said, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm just kicking a dead horse. But number one, if you haven't done this already, you've got to make sure your P&L, your financial statement is clean. If you don't know what you're looking at and you resort to your accountant to say, hey, how am I doing? Okay, your accountant is sitting in the back of your car looking backwards. And he's seeing what has happened in your business. Whereas a CFO, or especially if you're a smaller company like myself, as a CEO or president of the organization, or the leader of your team, or, you know, manager of your, you know, marketing team, or whatever it is, and you're in charge of certain outcomes and budgets, we are in the front of the car. We've talked about this before. You're in the front of the car looking forward, and you are guiding this car forward. And you get to decide where this car goes and how fast it goes, how slow it goes. And you can look out for hazards and you can drive around them. But you can also drive right into them too, so if you're not careful. So don't rely solely upon your accountant to say, oh yeah, you're doing good. Okay, know your numbers. And if you don't understand your P&L at this point, like, hey, what is category 5, you know, section 229.54, you know, expense category 3, you know, if that's really how your P&L looks, like, holy crap, guys, it's time to clean it up. You know, these accountants are great and they're good at what they're doing, but they are so numbered oriented that sometimes they take the human out of the business. So go through it. You can, if you're on QuickBooks Online or whatever you're using, Quicken, I don't care what you're using. You can find a way to edit those categories and say, okay, no, let's start with income streams. What income streams are coming into your business? Okay. And then what are your costs of goods sold? You know, what goes against that? So obviously, let's take you can just talk about my company for a minute. As a cleaning company, my income streams, we have, janitorial services, we have carpet cleaning, we have strip and waxes that we do, floor maintenances, we do like that. And cost of goods sold is, majority of it is our labor, that goes into that. So we have labor categorized into separate categories for, hey, this is directly for janitorial services. This labor is directly for the strip and wax services we're providing. This labor category is for the cost of goods sold is directly related to the strip and wax services that we're providing. So have that match up with the income streams, so you know exactly where your profits lie. And then on top of that, obviously, we have supplies that go into that. I have to buy supplies to clean. We have to buy supplies to wax. We have to buy supplies to clean carpets. All those things go into the different cost of goods sold categories against the revenue streams. So clean up your books, and then you obviously below cost of goods sold, and different. All you guys' companies are going to be different with cost of goods sold, but labor is obviously cost of goods sold. Now, when it comes to, I'm not your accountant, so I'm going to give you that disclaimer right now. But when it comes to people that are on salary, those would be in the overhead category. Those people are in overhead category, and that's where all your other stuff goes into. Your office expenses, your softwares, all that kind of stuff are in your overhead category. So make sure that you know what's going on. Your professional services, your professional development, and those are two different things you should really separate out. If you are going to coaching, that's professional development. If you are going to, attorneys and getting that in for, or accountants, that's professional services. So have those things separated out so you know where your money is going. So clean up your books. That is huge. So you can actually see, okay, I am literally knowing exactly where every dollar is going in my business. And then I can kind of realize, okay, obviously I'm spending too much money in this category. Especially with the overhead, you can cut that you can cut that up with a samurai sword. Cost of goods sold is a little bit different story. If you have an imbalance there, then you got to realize that either there's a huge inefficiency in your team, but more than likely there's an issue with your pricing. So go through that, and then after the overhead category after all that's been taken out of your income streams, then you're left with your net profits, and then know what your net profit should be. What was it? Dan Packard from Cooper Norman offered to, if anyone was to call them and said, "Hey, I heard about you guys on the podcast," he would run a free report for you guys to let you know what was the standard profit margins for your industry. So that's just standard. Obviously, if you can make more, make more. So I don't want to go on a huge rant on your P&Ls right now, but I feel like that's important. So that's number one. Number two, what should happen before June? And I'm talking to myself as well, guys. Like, I've never given advice. I've never talked about anything that I haven't done myself. And I've learned everything the hard way. And it's kicked me in the teeth a few times. Rid yourself of toxic employees. It's a big one. You would imagine what a huge turn of events that you can find in your company by having this happen. So if there's something you're putting off and you're setting these goals in a year out, and you're like, well, by 2024 or December of 2023, this is what I want to see in my company. Okay, if that's the kind of goals you're setting, this kind of stuff's never going to happen. That same, these same individuals are going to continue to work for you. They're continuing to bring you down. Your P&L is going to still be in the same condition that it's in, because as long as it's not bleeding, and you're still pulling a few dollars into your pocket every month, whatever. But let's do more than that. Let's really excel our companies. Let's really strive to succeed more. Let's do less work with more return. So it's crazy sometimes when we work ourselves to the bone and we're pulling in tiny bits of profits because we don't have systems set up. We don't have our numbers, clean. We don't have we don't understand what's really going on in our business. We're just, wishing upon a star, like, oh, I hope things are good. Hope at the end of the month I have something to take home to my family. But I hope. That's not the way to do it. Anyways, moving forward. Like I just said, putting systems into place and finally make your life easier. Unless you like to answer every single phone call that comes from your team. And you'd like to be able to be that guy that gives answers every single, hour of the day. You're getting phone calls, all that kind of stuff. Whoops. Got to turn my phone off. That's bad on me. Bad timing right there. That's spam, by the way. That's not from my team. Other than that, put systems in place. So if something happens, and you have good people that are on, on management and good employees that you can trust, make that something that you can put on them. Say, hey, when this happens, I want this and this and this to happen. You can take care of this and this and this, and this is the process that we go through when this happens. And then you don't have to explain it every time this same thing happens, every week, every day, every month, whatever it is. Put a system in place, write it down, put it in a Google document or something that you share with your entire team so everyone is on the same page and there's no questions about it. And they know exactly, hey, Carl or Spencer or Mitch or whoever, they, or Kendra, they put something in place and I know exactly what to do because this is the system, this is the process, and this is what we do. Make it easy for people, empower people. So that's another one I would do because that's made my life a lot easier. Other than that, next one I would do, raise prices. Like I said before, if you cleaned up your books and you've slashed some stuff in your overhead, you're like, oh man, there's some waste here going on here. And you'll see that as you are cleaning up your books and you're actually understanding where your money's going. You'll see that your company's probably signed up for things that you're like, oh crap, I've been paying for that since like 1998. Holy cow, I don't even use that anymore. It's like these commercials you see on TV for your personal finances. They say, hey, we'll catch all these subscriptions that are coming in and we'll even cancel them for you. It's cleaning up your books gives you that same ability to catch those kind of things and say, all right, that doesn't work for me anymore. I'm out. Clean up your finances, frees up more cash for yourself. But raise prices, gain more customers. Get your sales tactics in line more. So you are streamlining that process more. Maybe your sales guys need to be trained a little bit better so they're converting more sales instead of we made a few calls a day and it just didn't happen, boss. We're not getting anything. Well, if you're not training them and they're staying with you, that's bad. But I know, many of us are thinking, well, if I put all this training into them what if they go? Great. It's not great, but at the same time, you're training them. And then when they're staying, they're knowing exactly what they're doing. They're bringing money into your company and they're benefiting you. So, and find a commission structure that works good for them. Find something that they're motivated towards, reward them on the progress of the company and the progress of themselves. So it's only fair. So yes, raise prices if you got cleaned up your numbers and you've slashed your overhead and you've looked at your cost of goods sold and you're like, geez, this percentage is off. And that's what I look at a lot is my percentages. I care about top line revenue. That's important. That's important, but I really feel like that's a vanity number. I think many of us think like, oh, I'm doing X amount of millions every year. Cool. But what's your bottom line? What's your bottom line number? Because you could be doing several million a year, but if you're only taking away 100,000 in net profit to your home, and you're doing several million a year, gosh dang. I would much rather, tweak a few things and bring home a couple 100,000 a year to that several million or even a half a million or more a year. So that all comes with having cleaner books and having an understanding of where you're at. And then very last, I would think, is just getting more granular in your thinking. Like I said at the beginning, if you're setting goals, a year out and you're thinking, December 31st, 2023, it's going to be a big one for me. Gosh, man, I've done it. I've been there, and I can, give you guys a hard time because I've done it to myself. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be at this point. I'm going to be this, and this, and this. Set shorter term goals so you can continue to push yourself quarter to quarter, month to month, even week to week if you need to. Sometimes we get in a slump. Sometimes we get in a little bit of just a slump that you're just like, man, I can't get out of this. And especially if you don't have any systems in place and you're that guy or that gal that is constantly answering everyone's questions and you feel like you're just a glorified babysitter, it gets daunting. So put all this stuff into place, put some systems in place, and make yourself easier to replace in your company. Make your teams run without you. Make your company run without you. And that's a good that's a good, sign of a good company is you have, an owner absentee type company that the owner has to step in a couple times a week, check his email, check up on things, have a weekly report from his management team or her management team, and things are running. That's what you want. That's what we all want, right? But I know we're all workaholics. I know we want to keep, we got to grind. Because that's what we've been told. And in Idaho, that's what we're hardworking men and women. But what if we didn't have to work as hard as we really think we do? There's times we have to really grind it out and work hard. And there's times if you put things in place and systems in place, you can really start to relax and enjoy some things. That's not saying there's times that I'm out there grinding my butt off at times because things happen once in a while, but it is very temporary, So when that happens, guys, just look inward and say, okay, if I'm dealing with this problem over and over again, what can I do to fix it? What can I do to make it so I don't have to go through this again, especially if this is something I'm dealing with on a repetitive basis. So in the words of Michael Jordan, some people want it to happen. Some wish it would happen. Others make it happen. So go out there and make it happen for yourselves. Before June, set some really clear, specific goals for yourself to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do this week to accomplish X, Y, and Z for June. This is what I'm going to do next week. This is what I'm going to do this month. And just keep pushing forward so you can continue to get yourself out of that funk and make yourself more profitable, make your teams more efficient, and hire these employees that are just better core value matches too. So as always, go out there, stay grateful, stay positive, and just go out there and enjoy your week. You guys deserve it, and we all deserve to be happy. So until next time, adios. Have a great week. Bye.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.